payments because they don't know what's on their credit. So, oh, that's not mine. Call them. Some people, they don't know what they've been late on. And sometimes the companies, they didn't send them anything, so they have no idea.
Yes.
You know, I like to help people like that. So that's the dispute. You know that we cannot have the catch up on late payments. So when the people call you and say, I have late payments, I'm like, start now. Let's make the payments on time. Send your monthly payment. Put automatic payments from your whatever. So next. Got that?
Yep.
Any questions on the scores, any credit reports? I do consultation on credit reports all the time. I don't mind pulling any of your credit and share it with you and give you a copy and tell you what to do.
Hadia,
Yeah?
on Experian, if anybody has a low FICO score, I didn't know this. They will use all your utilities. So if you give Experian access to your bank account where you pay your utility bills, as soon as you put it in and they can prove that, your score goes up.
It's called the payment history.
You're right.
So I do not actually use it unless I go to manual underwriting. That's what we use for manual underwriting, which is I'll get to it later. What we substitute credit reports, you know, with manual underwriting conditions. The second one, anybody needs an advice on credit report. I mean, I have a lot of realtors call me. It's like, Hadia, I want you to advise me here. So free, no charge. Debt to income ratios help lower their DTI. So that's the second thing affects their what? Interest. So help lower their debt to income ratio. What's the debt to income ratio? Debt to income. This is your income. This is your debt. So it's called debt to income ratio. Everybody knows a little bit about it. I'm gonna give you an example. So basically, if your income is $5,000 a month, when we calculate your income, and your debt $2,500, how much is your debt? To income? 50%, right? So 50%. But when I look at the debt, it has to be everything, credit debt, like everything, all the monthly payments on your credit, plus your full monthly payment. Do you understand that? So basically, if I qualify you for a house for $1,500 a month, and I look at your credit and your minimum monthly payments is another $1,000, it's $2,500. So that's total DTI. There's another housing DTI, which is I'm not gonna go into, I don't wanna confuse you. So total debt to income ratio. These days, they raised most of the conventional loans up to 50% DTI. It used to be 45%. Based on, you know, your credit, you know, that's why we run the yield. Sometimes I can get it approved up to 50%.
So it increases the wiggle room a little bit by 5%?
How?
So it increases the wiggle room for more debt by 5%?
5%. But, case by case, we run the yield, if we get it approved at high, the only one I cannot get approved higher than 45% is non-owner occupied. So I always keep it at 45%. They would not allow it. Sometimes. I don't know, but 90%, like I've been seeing that. You have a question?
No.
Jenny?
Yeah, what happens when somebody, their credit, you know how they were hacking their credit and you freeze your credit?
They freeze your credit. Some
Yeah.
people, they freeze their credit because they're afraid that somebody runs their credit. I have them call
Mhm.
and unfreeze it.
How long does it take for them to?
24 hours.
20.
So basically, I call Experience, I freeze it, they freeze Experience, say, can you please get it out of its freezing, you know, get it out? And they do 24 hours, I can run their credit. I had a lady, every time I ran her, it still didn't give me a FICO score because she kept calling them and so forth. Yes, some people, they put a hold, so nobody can check their credit. Understand a little bit about the DTI. DTI does affect, like some people, they have 29% DTI, and I feel like their interest rate gets a little bit better when they have low. So basically, they are lower risk than high DTI. It's a higher risk. So basically, if I am maximizing your DTI, that means I'm like literally, you are a higher risk than lower DTI. Okay? You're not. So pay off some debts. What I do when we get the clients, I run their credit. I'm doing that with somebody right now. I ran the credit, she has lots of debts, but she has like about $80,000 to work with. So if she wants to put the $80,000 down, I had her pay debts and put lower down payment.
Now, when you run the credit for the pre-qualification, is it a hard run or is it softer?
Hard run. 1 to 2 points.
1 to 2 points.
But I heard like if you run your credit hard, even for 15 days, it does not change the points. You know, in 15 days period, if you run your credit more than one time on a hard.
So if you have somebody that's on the edge, so like my client has a 588 credit score with a VA loan, which is, it's bad, and you want to do a secondary loan to help that transaction, is it a good idea to run the credit
Unless
in
they
escrow?
did a major boo-boo on their credit, unless they did a major, like they didn't make a payment or anything, it's gonna change like 1 point.
So is that gonna affect the underwriting on the primary loan?
No, 580, and it's 600, it's the same, so if it's
Okay.
588 and 5850,
It'll be fine.
yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't drop lower than
And 580.
580. Got it?
Got it.
Good.
Ask to lower interest rates on credit cards. So I do like, we have the system, I say, oh, if they click, I had somebody who had $9,000 on a card, but his payment is $800. The minute I click that, instead of putting the $8,000 down, I had him pay his card, he can qualify for $650 now. You get me? And ask for a raise promotion. I tell my clients, how come you didn't have a promotion? Ask for one. It's like, I'm gonna do that. I say, even in like $1 or 50 cents, it's gonna help you actually to qualify better. I had one guy, he went and asked and he got,
What if you have like maybe 5 credit cards that may have maybe high balances available, but they're zero balanced? Do those hurt your credit to keep those, or
yeah, never close a credit card.
Right.
Never close it.
never close the credit card?
What if they close on their own?
If the client closes on their own, their FICO score will drop.
No, but what if it closes because the company closes because
Well,
it's
that's,
inactive?
yeah. Well, very rare to do that. They
I
just-
have multiple cards of those because I haven't used them.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to manage.
That's like,
It does not affect you unless it's a major credit.
It's always good to have that extra.
If they're working with a lender and they're not happy with that lender, if they wanna go to another one, how many points they get down?
Like I said, every single time I see changes 1 or 2 points. Every single time I see 1. But the other day I ran somebody's credit and they're so scared that their FICO is gonna go lower and it get higher. So it's not, maybe they made a major payment on their credit and now their FICO score better. You get me? So I ask, what's your FICO score? 788. It's not gonna make any difference. You're not in danger. 588, I tell the client, have you done anything different on your credit? Have you made any late payments or whatever? By the way, we do refresh the credit the last day, like 2 days before we close escrow. We do not re-put the credit, we refresh it. That means any credit cards you applied for, any increases on your balances, it will show. Yeah, so I had them so many times, like the last second.
don't buy anything.
The underwriter sent me an email. This client, they charged $4,000 on this credit, now their payment not $50, now $150. That means I have to add another $100 onto their debt and they can qualify. Guess what? Go pay it off, bring me a letter. I have to do a supplement, that means 5 days delay. Got it?
You guys are direct lenders?
Huh?
Are you guys?
We are direct lenders, yeah. My underwriters are like my residents. I call them on their cell phone. they answer my calls, they give me solutions. I mean, you need people like that to get things done. You know that, like, so much, you know, clients need help with. We cannot say, oh, you cannot qualify, you cannot qualify, you push them away. No, we have to find something to get them going.
So you're saying if you have credit cards or lines of credit, don't close them? Because
Don't.
I heard that someone said that if you have too many open credit, like credit cards with high balances, the bank will see you as a potential risk because you can't tap into your.
If they are with balances, but if they are zero balances, no.
Oh.
Okay.
And you have a ratio of how much debt utilization or credit utilization. So if you have multiple credit cards, it all acts as a whole. So if you have a total whole of $40,000 available credit, how much of that is being used will determine part of your credit score as well.
Yeah, so if it's zero, no, don't worry about it. I had somebody 6 pages of credit and he has like 801 FICO.
So what happened if you had, obviously had purchase and you had history on that card and you close it, what happened to your FICO score?
If, let's say, right before you close escrow, open escrow or whatever, you cannot see, if you close accounts, it's gonna drop your FICO score. Always. Actually, every single time you open an escrow, I send you an email. I don't know who said, you know, if you open the attachment, please open the attachment, all to do and don'ts that you have to advise your client, and I send it to your client as well, twice.
Nice.
Very good.
Throughout the transaction, so they don't do any of those. Do and don'ts, can you open them? I can send it to them as well. And I mean, a lot of people, they have 2 jobs to help them with the qualification. Anyone who has 2 jobs, they have to have 2 jobs working for 2 years continuous to be able to take the income from both the jobs.
Are lines of credit treated the same as credit cards?
Line of credit,
Yeah,
yes,
same.
yes.
Right? 'Cause you
I
have
want
credit
to
card,
give you
just
a
like credit
tip. If you have a foreclosure on FHA, 2 years after the discharge. For foreclosure, 3 years, bankruptcy is 2 years.
2 year,
No,
I'm sorry, 2 year foreclosure?
2 years vacate, 3 years foreclosure on FHA.
What about
For-
bankruptcies?
Bankruptcies, 2 years,
2 years?
vacates, yeah.
That's it,
I
and then
think
after
it's
2 years, they're
7.
okay?
2 years after the discharge.
2 years after the discharge.
Doesn't matter what chapter?
Chapter 13 is 1 year. Chapter 7 is 2 years. Chapter 1, if they have been making the payment on chapter 13 on time for 1 year, I can hit them with that payment. Or if they have paid it off, they can.
2 years after clear.
2 years after clear. I don't have that many chapter 13, most of them chapter 7, but I just closing one on chapter 13. She did it like 6 months ago, she paid it off. You know what's chapter 13, right?
No.
Do you know how it works? So basically you have 30 credit card bills, you have card payments, you wanna put it all on your BK. The court takes everything, all the creditors, they have the right to come into the court and present their case. Let's say I owe Chase $10,000. Chase representative comes in and they say, okay, but we're not gonna accept more than 3,000. The 10,000, it becomes a 3,000, and this one, it becomes 1,000, and this one becomes 500. So they consolidate all those debt for all those creditors, and they put a payment on the buyer to pay it in 1 year or whatever. You know, so basically the client has $500 payment, that $500, 100 to Chase, $20 for this, and they manage, it's like, as if it's, I feel like that consolidation a little bit. You get me?
Yeah.
So it takes like $30,000, let's say you have $100,000, it becomes $30,000 is gonna be paid in 1 or 2 years or whatever the court decides.
Yes.
Got it? So you would know more. Knowledge is power, guys. The more you know, the better it is. When people saying something in front of you, you don't have to give them advice, but at least you know what they're talking about.
Yes.
Do you know why I listen a lot to a lot of things that I really don't like? I'm interested. Because the next day, the next week, the next year, somebody's gonna say it in front of me. I know. I don't have to elaborate too much, but at least I know what they're talking about. So the next one, This is what I send the client every single time we open escrow. In our initial interview, borrower's consultation, I go through it. Please, do not deposit cash. Do not open new credit. Do not raise your credit. Keep everything the same. Okay, you know, monthly on time.
Do
So
not
those
deposit
and
cash.
keep cash in a safe or in an overseas account if you plan to use these funds for yourself. You talk with us about how and when to get the money into your US bank account. I send it to every single client when we open an account. And I do not send it as an attachment, now I put it as a body, so they don't have, like, to open the attachment. I even prepare them, like, who they're gonna get calls from. So, I mean, I send the do and don'ts, I talk about so many things, and a lot of my buyers like, don't worry, I have the money. No, you have the money, where's the money? I have
Show
the
me the
money.
money.
Cash? No cash deposits. Cash deposits is obsolete to us, like as if we don't see it. Okay? So I'll send it to you if you want, but I send it with every single new offer. Okay, get your client prepared. Down payment does affect your interest rate. So credit score, down payment, your DTI affects it. Ask to lower interest rates on your credit cards. Sometimes I tell them, like, you have a payment $180 on a $3,000 balance. Call your credit card company and lower the interest rate. Maybe they lower the payment so you can qualify for more. I do advise them if they do have a car payment and that car payment's how long you've been paying, 2 years, I tell them refinance it for a longer time so the payment goes down. I do suggest different things to see which one it works.
Hadia, what happens if, instead, let's say that the bank doesn't want to do that, and they happen to get one of these promotions of 0% for 12 months, whatever. What if they say, okay, I'm going to move that from here to here, my payment is going to go down?
That's fine. But they're gonna transfer the whole balance.
Right, right.
Yeah, and their payment will be lower, yeah. Sometimes that's a good idea, I didn't know that. If they do have that zero.
I know that, that's why.
Okay, so when I look at people's credit and I see the lowest balance with the highest payment, you get me? So I advise them to pay that. So you have $200 balance, but your payment $50, I tell you to pay that. But if you have $5,000 balance with like $50 payment, I'm like, the payment is low for this balance. So, you know, we advise them based on what they need to pay. As for a raise or promotion, begin inside a job, down payment, like I help them like kind of figure things out, which is, I know not too many lenders that get involved in people's stuff, but I do. I tell you, like, you know, what happens if you do this? What happens if you know, I had a client who's the realtor, James. James, I told him, go get a raise.
Yeah, did he get it?
I don't know, he asked for
He
it.
said he's gonna come in like 2 months.
Yeah.
He
So
said, "What
stuff
did
like that to help the client think, it's good because we're the experts. That's what we do. We give them advice. We direct them, right? Who's in charge? You are, guys. You're the one who's gonna direct them. If the client is attitude like this, you're in the wrong business. You gotta be the driver.
I'm the captain.
And that's why you need to know. That's why you need to read a lot in your spare time. How many of you read real estate stuff in your spare time? Man, I read about those interest rates and everything is so hard to absorb, but I do. Because I want to know what's going on, so I can tell you, you know what, the rate is going to change this way or that way. So read, read, read. How many people knows about KW Connect?
So what is that one for?
How many gets into it? Tons of material. It's a whole university in there. You really need to make a point. Okay? So, begin a cited job. This is us. Carol, she speaks Spanish, David speaks Spanish, I do not speak Spanish. But they love me, even though I don't speak Spanish, they still do want to work with me. Juanita, a few words like she can get by.
Do you speak another language?
I speak Arabic. I speak Arabic, I write Arabic.
Me too.
It's very hard language. You know? I spoke French, little French when I was growing up because we went to when I get it's kind of as if like it's never heard it before. It's really hard if you're not practicing because it's not like my main language. But in Lebanon, we learn the 3 languages: English, French, and Arabic. And everybody there speaks 3 languages. They sing it, they know it, they are so like, they know all the artists, all the singers, everything. Man, I have no idea. I go in there and I walk into a place in French, and I'm like, you speak English? Yeah, they speak all French. The French is like, you know, and English fluently. 3 languages fluently, because we learn it from school. Like I had to, I mean, on my math, everything, I had 1 Arabic period, everything else in English and in French. So very worldwide people, like they travel a lot and they see a lot. So, okay, so when a client tells you what's the interest rate today, tell them let's talk. What's your FICO score? Tell them FICO score. Let's see about your down payment, what program you're getting. You know, I mean, on FHA is the least amount of the changes. The rate doesn't change too much on FHA, but if you have 660, I see huge improvement in rates. Okay? If a client asks you guys, listen to me, if a client asks you, like, I want to buy in 6 months, I found out any clients need at least 3 to 4 months preparation to get things, their stuff in order to buy. So let's start now. That's what I tell them. I said, let's get you at least know if you can or you can. You might not be ever able to buy. You might be like not ready, so let's get you ready. Okay? Free service, free consultation. All what you can talk to free pizza, come on. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions, anyone? Go ahead.
It's in regards to income. Does Uber count as income?
So there's 2 types of income. Sometimes people get paid hourly, they are employed, and some people they get 1099 like Uber, self-employed like you guys. You have to file your own taxes and you have to put your own deductions. And always, the minute somebody tells you I am self-employed, always ask for tax returns so we can look at income. Because we would not know what they foster parents. Foster parents, is a good question. Does anybody have a client with foster parents? Foster parents, we have to take them conventional. FHA does not take them foster parents.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
FHA?
It has to go conventional. It's easier for foster parents.
On that eventually.
They have to have 2 years history of foster parents.
They do not take it.
They have to bring me all their contracts on each child. Are they permanent, are they temporary? Right? So let's say some people, they take those kids and then they make them permanent and they take over and they are the parents. So there's contracts. And if they are foster parents on a regular basis, so they have kids in and out and all of that, they have to bring me everything for the last 2 years because I have to manage their income.
It's because they're higher risk, their expenses fluctuate, it's not like this.
Yeah, a lot of my clients I average. We average over 2 years, like if people that they are not full-time. Full-time, their hours fluctuate, so I do average them for 2 years. Okay? If you have any clients self-employed that they want to buy a house next year, don't have them do their taxes before they consult the accountant, the lender, so they can file maybe enough income to qualify.
to meet with the lender before filing?
Well, let me tell you, some people, they are self-employed, they go and claim $20,000, $10,000, their net income, they're not gonna qualify. So have them consult with someone and to tell them like how much you wanna purchase a house, $300,000, how much down you wanna put, and then I give them an idea how much they need to file. Okay? This is the time right now. Okay, any questions? Anybody's having a difficult situation that they need to resolve?
What about if, investors that only have, rental income?
Okay.
They have to provide all the leases?
No, people that they do have, which is, I've been getting a lot of people with the rental income, there's Schedule E on their taxes. If they claim it on their taxes, I go through their Schedule E, I do the calculation, and I give them the income. That's the only way.
So they don't have to show their lease agreement?
I don't care about their lease agreement, because whatever it says, whatever they claim and whatever they pay taxes on, that's when it counts. And it's not the number that you see on Schedule E, the first page. That's not the number, because I add back their interest, their insurance, their taxes, their depreciation back, and give them more income on their Schedule E. So they're not, they claim $10,000 or they claim minus $5,000. It's totally different.
Do you recommend that something credit union service like Lexington Law?
Oh my gosh, Lexington Law, this guy is like good marketing guy. I need to ask him how does he market. Yeah, I have so many people comments like from Lexington Law to do their credit.
Waste of money?
They take monthly payment forever to fix it, and they do always disputes. I tell them disputes is like you're putting a Band-Aid on a kebab cup. So it stops like reporting bad on your credit, but you cannot buy. And it's not removing the balances or not removing the negatives on your credit. So it's just stopping to report the negative payment, that's it. So whenever you're late, every single month, the creditor sends the reports to the Free Credit Bureau, and then it reports late or not late.
Hadia, what about a person that has a job and has had a job for 2 years, but is ready to move to another company? How does that affect them?
It's okay, as long as they do either offer letter and we need their first paycheck. It's okay.
Do they need to do the same position?
Huh?
Do they need to be in the same line of work?
How about if they're making less?
Not in the same line of work.
If they are making less, sometimes I justify it maybe because they're closer to home. Maybe, they are getting this job because of different reasons.
But they don't have to be in the same line of work. So I could be working in a car dealer and then I can work, let's say, in a hospital. 2 different careers.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause, this person has contacted
I need you to talk to me, and this is how you learn, by her asking those questions.
Because before it was like that if you went from one job to the other, it had to be the same line of
Yeah,
work.
actually, a person that contacted me said that they spoke to 2 different lenders, and the 2 different lenders said it has to be the same kind of line of work. If not, you're not able to qualify. And then the other question was,
Are they full-time? Did they get employed full-time job? Are they employed W-2 like they used to be employed W-2?
well, they've been working at the same job for 5 years.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay, but they want to go ahead and, the person, what he wants to do is he wants to go ahead and leave the 5-year job that he's been working in, because he already found another job. So, that's basically,
Why is he moving?
because he's getting a better job.
That's it, that's fine.
So as long as you get better.
Well, even the same, sometimes I explain it's like better benefits, closer to home, I can save on my driving time. I do right explanation.
So it has to be a reasonable explanation for that.
Don't worry, I'll make up this. That's the easiest part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
You have the cell phone number of the underwriters anyways, right?
Yeah, I always there's so many reasons. You don't have, if I'm moving a job, the same or a little bit better. It's like you're making $20 and you're moving to $12 job, it's like, why?
Does Mortgage Express do, this is off of, real estate, but do they do, home improvement loans? Do you do home?
So we do have the 203K, that if anybody's familiar with 203K.
What is it called?
It is 203K, it's a home improvement. I just closed home improvement one, it's a nightmare, but I learned a lot. I swear to you, it was a nightmare, it's for what's her name?
So are you telling me no?
Chris's mom. Anita. Nadia. Poor Nadia.
How long-
But we closed it.
How long did it take you to close the 203K?
203K, I can do 60 days. The other one, it was home improvement loan.
So what would you suggest?
It's a totally different program than 203K, a little bit different.
This
You
is a
know?
personal one, not for someone
Yeah,
else.
I mean, it took me like between 60 to 90 days, over 60, around 70 days, 75 days
To approve it,
to close it.
to close?
So this is the first thing you need to do. You're gonna get into the list who is approved contractors by the state to do inspection. That's the first thing. And that's where it took us 2 weeks to find one contractor is willing to go and fill out the paperwork of whatever the borrower wants to get done. We couldn't find anybody, so we lost 2 weeks. You get me?
That's
So
on
the
the tool.
borrower has to say what kind of improvements, oh, really?
Yeah, so basically you bought this house and you're gonna say, okay, I wanted to remodel the kitchen, and a contractor that is approved is gonna say, okay, this is gonna cost you 20,000, this is, you know, and then they add it at the end. And when we send for the appraisal report, we send them all these, that's improvement, and we tell the appraiser how much the house is gonna worth with all these improvements. So it's a future value, not present value.
Oh,
Believe me, and at the end, it happened to be there's mold. And then the underwriter wants mold inspection, and we had to mold inspect it, and we had to add all these at the end to the report. But like I said, sometimes I wanna say yes for everything, and I'm like, why?
Okay, can you
Because I
say
want
yes
the
one more
realtor
time?
to close the deal. And it was Wells Fargo repo, and Wells Fargo gave it the first 30 days or 45 days for any homeowner occupied borrowers. The house needed lots of repairs, but they wanna give the owner occupied borrowers before they accept non-owner occupied and investors. So the buyer liked the house cannot be financed, it needs repair, so we went to home improvement, which is, I think, 203K.
Yeah, it is.
It is. We had to broker it out through my company because we don't, and no company does 203K I mean, you know, we did it, now we're trying to do it in-house. It is, I mean, I would probably know the steps a lot better now, and I know who would go as a contractor, and then the client had a difficult time finding anyone to come in and look at the house and do the paperwork, because the contractor's doing it for free, and he knows that he's not gonna get the job. So I told them at the end, why don't you offer the contractor $200-300 just to come in and write the report?
Yep.
Right? They did it.
Oh, that guy.
You get me?
Yeah.
So there's too many things into the lending. I wanna let you know. I used to say, I wish every realtor does one loan, and then they will know how difficult it is. And then they will back off and they do understand. Exactly, I swear. I wish every realtor do one loan, just one loan, to see the stats and how much VOEs, VODs, you know, there's so many, I mean, the loan costs like $500, $600, and we have not closed the deal yet.
Where do I sign?
Everything is, you know, if you're thinking to become a lender, talk to me. I swear, if you're feeling like you want a career change, I mean, since you're in, I train. If you know of any good real realtors that they wanna be, I swear, I'm willing to change. And you're gonna say, you know what, I rather door knock.
I don't usually do this, but for Hadia, I'll do it.
I swear, I'm like, any questions? Anybody's going through a scenario that if they wanna, I can qualify that client. Rachel.
I have a scenario.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, 100 credits.
There was pizza sitting in front of me for an hour. Is it possible to convince my teacher to allow me to have some pizza?
I do this class monthly. If you feel like an area you wanted me to teach on, let me know. But I thought like this one, I can touch base on DTI, credit score is important, like down payments and stuff like that. We do have the 0 down. We do have 3%, 5%, 10% conventional loans.
You have the one for IT number?
I do. I have approval on 2 clients completely. It took me forever. Get them approved. Why didn't you find a house? Why did I call them all? They're like, I'm selling my mobile home or they're doing something. So I'm gonna.
They need a 20% down,
So
right?
IT numbers.
No.
If you wanna take a note on IT numbers, they have to have a valid ID or a valid passport from their origin country. For IT number, a lot of people, they have fake social security number that they report it on their paycheck. We have to understand, because when they file their taxes, they file it under their IT number. But when they receive the check, they do not put their IT number there, they put a fake social, like whatever social. If they have the IT number on their paycheck, is better. If not, I remove the paychecks and I just do a loan based on their taxes. So I learned the loophole.
Is their interest rate a little bit higher because of that?
The rates, okay, so there's 2 ways. We run their credit, if they don't have a credit under their IT number.
They won't have a credit under the IT.
I did have a lady that she had 640 under her IT number.
Oh.
Yes, she did file whatever under her IT and she had 640, so I had to get her a 640 FICO score rate. But if they don't have any credit under their IT number, we consider them no credit and their rate will jump quite a bit.
I have a question. Next month, FHA is gonna be changing for condos, the ratio between tenant and owner. How's that gonna affect?
So basically, right now, it is actually, how much is the ratio for FHA, 60 to 40?
Something like that.
So do you understand what we're talking about?
Yeah, property owners versus.
Non-property owners. So for the new realtors, what that means, like you have 100 units. When we send for HOA cert, they say it's 100 units, 50 of them occupied, 50 of them non-owner occupied, they're tenants. So that's what? 50, 50 ratio. FHA means 60-40?
Or
70-30. I have not done that. I'm not doing FHA's condos because I have not been finding any condos are approved FHA, so I'm doing a lot of that.
But that's what they're supposed to be, next month, they're supposed to be changing that ratio.
To what?
I'm not sure exactly what it is, they're working on it. And by the October 15th, it's supposed to be.
I
a new
did 2 VAs lately, but I didn't do FHAs for a while because every single time the clients go,
It's not approved.
It's not
it's not
approved.
approved. So, a lady from Coldwell Banker gives me all her business. She calls me and she's like, Hadia, this unit has been for sale and it's put just cash offers only. It's 7 units or 8 units in Lancaster. I called the HOA. It's an old lady, probably she's gonna pass out on her chair because she's been an HOA lady for like over, she said 60 years. So I told her why we cannot get FHA, why can't, she said we never get it approved with anything. Never applied their paperwork for FHA, VA, convention, nothing. So this unit doesn't, I guess there's not too many people sell their properties there, so. I called my processor, I had a processor, oh my gosh. I told her, listen, how can we get it approved? She said, get me those HLA paperwork, and we did it approved, FHA. We did the whole thing.
If you can give me a call back.
She still calls me, she sends me her clients, but I mean, it was such a process. I said, let's try, and we got it FHA approved. Me and the process. But that takes a while. It doesn't take too much time, by the way, it's just paperwork that people don't wanna go through. So that's why I do not do FHA. My realtors, they go, Hadia, it's not approved FHA, can my client qualify conventional? So always when I know there's a condo, I always try to see if they can get approved conventional. We do have non-warrantable condos, that means if they put 20% down, we don't care.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any questions?
Can I have seconds?
Huh? I want you to go put deals, you have questions, I'm always available to answer your questions, you don't have to bring me the deal, I just wanna help. I don't care, I swear, I'm blessed, I always have people come to me and use us, and then, but if you have someone that you feel like you're lost somewhere, call me. I'm available.
Thank you.
Come on, guys. I'm gonna open them and put them different places so that way you don't have to. This is all yours.
Well, you know what, I wanna have some help.
Big boys.
Put napkins everywhere so you don't I bring them everywhere.
I got knife shards.
Anybody need to play?
Give me the other half, I'll take the other half, that's right, I got it.
It's okay, there's another one over there.
I got
Now,
the
you
big
didn't-
piece out of
There's
it.
another one right there.
Thank you, Hadia.
Like for lunch.
Haven't heard from Agnes? Haven't heard from Agnes since you left?
Yeah, she got a house, she got a house, right before she left.
Right.
And she doing good. She doing real good.
So she's waiting for all of us to show up?
But she said, yeah, she said, when you coming, Queen? I said, I'll get some money.
Give her a hard time about being Here, put it here.
Avísame la demora, porque podemos
That was great.
Did you learn?
Always.
Everybody learn?
I learn every day.
Write questions as you go in your career. The minute you see like something you might not need it right right away when somebody knows. That's what I used to do. I have a book. Then someone knows everything. I had that book for years. And every single time I wanted to have a formula, I go to the exactly like this one.
Denver is a beautiful city, but,
Yeah, it's getting cold. I know we were staying.
I'm not going to the winter.
I know it. She said, I said, ooh, I'm too scared to come there in the wintertime. We were stationed there.
We get to Denver in the wintertime, you may not be able to get out.
You need a Volkswagen. Like I used to have a Volkswagen. Everybody else was going. I just break up my little Volkswagen. It was cool.
I think everybody can fund these old Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And when I have they trust me more, I start to
She still didn't, downside. She got 46.
Just her?
Yeah.
The grandkids should be grown by now.
Oh, yeah.
sometimes they ask for that. Because I know I send an email to somebody, can you get me this and this? You know, what do I get? Oh, that's why I read, confuse the people. And I kind of like, so they have it easier, so they don't get frustrated. I didn't that's why. Have you been there? I like to know.
How you been doing since I seen you? They want to make sure everything's good. She said she'll take it. But he's getting off it now. His body going under 80 or no, he woke up under early and she said she's going to take it off. They have to do it for 6 months. You know, for 6 months to make sure everything is working good. Oh, no, no, at the beginning. But he, man, but I have to wait the first 6, at least first 3 months.
I like this one better.
I like millions. I like you know that. Yeah, $50 million in your loan, it would be even better.
Oh, you don't like it?
And then the second thing I do is we have the and what else do you do for rent rolls? Rent rolls. Rent rolls. I don't know why. So you have a card.
The last thing that happened was the transmission went out. I was fortunate I didn't get on the. I was just gonna return it there. Okay. And then realized I pulled over, and I got so the girl I watched drove me with that, so it had a, I think it had gas. Which is just oil, and it was 60,000 miles, they were gonna charge $2,500 to repair it. And I just thought, I just let them take it away.
You know what, it's annoying now that he walks back and forth.
Luego después está a opción del comprador con quien quiere trabajar. Ajá.
Bueno, mucho gusto.
Trying to get rid of this condo in San Bernardino.
How much is it?
We got 168 right now. We started at 176, we lowered it twice.
But it's in a lot of neighborhoods.
Huh? One of the better, in one of the better neighborhoods in San Bernardino. FHA won't. Conventional was kicked out.
Sí.
And 4 units. My unit now. But everybody out there, they can only afford FHA.
Eso es todo.
FHA will not
Tenemos
live.
plan. Si no tenemos plan,
So I have to get back to this company.
lo encontramos por todos lados.
Conventional.
Y no es efectivo.
My unit, I had checked out before I even put it up for sale. I had all the inspectors to come out and do a thorough check. Because I told them if there was anything wrong, I wasn't gonna handle it.
I know my son is, got approved for $300,000. I wonder what he gonna do. California City. So you saying that it needs to be fixed up and you can't get it?
My unit doesn't need to be fixed up. It's
Oh,
better.
that's one is 168.
Mine is 168, one is selling, one for 160, another unit there, is taking it out of escrow. It's bounced out 5 times.
So is it in a nice neighborhood or what?
It's supposed to be it's one of the best, it's not too far from the university.
University of what?
San Bernardino. Off the, 210 freeway coming around.
Okay, they got two of them there.
Well, no, there's actually 4 of them for sale. There's, 2 one bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. And then there's one like the one I'm selling, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath.
What about, is it close to the city? Yeah.
No, we're in the heart of San Bernardino. So
That's a long way.
that's a good little drive.
Okay.
I used to live in West Virginia. How do I get a property in San Bernardino? My sphere of influence. My sphere of influence is actually LA. Because I was born and raised in, I want to be out here 16 years. At 16 years, I want to get out here. I came out here a few years before I retired.
many bedrooms you have?
The one I have is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Where he is, he's got, cause I used to live in West Covina, where neighbors, the city, they go be, where traffic is, wow, that way, he's off of Mexico. Basically, we should be looking at what's the industry doesn't have those big houses.
Yeah, and yeah, they expensive too.
South El Monte, Whittier is too expensive for them.
Yeah.
Hacienda Heights,
And you are close to the university.
you close to University.
And
See, he's got to come through, Ratchet Cooper, Montgomery, Fontana, Ontario.
he's in Fontana somewhere. Are you close to Fontana?
They just close to Fontana.
I got it. So we can't find it now. And that price.
Not in Fontana. Fontana is too high. They just jacked up the prices of Fontana. They're running about, they're running $100,000 too much. I had a friend who was trying to buy out there, he wasn't paying half the year. I told him, I did the comp for the area. Recession, they started to drop the rate. Before the recession, they were so high. They want to get that back.
Yeah, so what I'll do is tell them to check it out. Email to let you know. Oh, confirmation. Yes. Woo! Yes, yes. Email us later on. We have
Wednesday, we have a date. Oh no, you know not even you. Y'all just give me a date. Let's go.
That's what my grandson, we found something. You stay in the townhouse. This is going to be your first rental property.
Okay.
When you move out.
Yes, that's what I was telling you, cause he already. I wonder how you get to him. You said 160, they were 150. You might want to buy the other one.
The other one is somebody else that we can work together to see if we
Yeah, you can work it together. Get him 2 of them. He's living one and then we can work together on this.
He's like, man, my life just become a realtor. I was like, look, man, how about we meet up for just a little bit? Or no, but I have to
I'm gonna ask you about
It's also SRAR.
give me a chance. So as soon as
Check it out on Gallup, SRAR.
oh yeah, she's in a good mood.
Check it out. There's pictures of it. Then we can work out something when we go out
It's
there
okay
and
though,
see
because
it.
some people don't want to get pushed
See it. And then I can also check on the other.
They want to get one. They want to see
Then we have to figure out how.
There's no offer to move to.
And so you said the inspection, everything good?
Everything's good on mine.
Yeah, you start there.
That's why I said, just go online. I got the inspection report on it. yourself?
The lady said, all you have to
Like,
do is
third is gonna be coming in with
1.2
the
is
list,
freaking
so
cheap.
you can have the list.
And the kitchen, which kitchen?
Yeah, that kind of house is 8 million and Cena.
When you're not thinking about it, that
Yeah, my bed's
pop
alright.
right out
That's
there.
my friend in the
To,
closet.
for a credit repair.
And all of
Who was the listing
it
agent?
It was
Wet bar.
somebody-
Yeah, he could.
So,
And the one, and you.
You're invited.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
basically,
What?
What day is it, Saturday?
he has a.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just talking fraud. Like,
Oh, okay.
as if somebody, it was fraud.
Oh, is it Desert Rose?
So the car been stolen.
That's Desert Rose?
It was stolen.
Yeah.
So what is the
And
insurance?
it's near the car.
Oh, What? Yeah.
You
You
can
said,
learn
hey, I'm in real estate now.
Yeah, man, you need another one.
I'm a better one.
Because he's an attorney and his wife's an accountant. Yeah, and he was telling too, but yeah, I can buy my house and all that. And his house is like,
You have it saved?
yeah.
Take it to the title.
Yeah, so basically they said
Take it
is
to the
that.
title.
Can you sue your teacher?
No, but I feel like.
Because he qualified.
I don't I didn't know he got banned.
And yours already been.
We would do like the national bank clock, and he was saying he could pay off that.
Oh, you already did it?
Like I said,
Oh, so he's trying to flex on the calls.
It's great to be rich.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
He's voting on the bill?
I always ask like how his day, he's like, oh, it's always a good day to be me.
That's hilarious. I wanna be that guy, that's funny.
Me, that's why I said,
Walk around, you don't even care.
Thank you, Hadia, for everything.
How's your husband doing?
He's doing too great. Okay, I do have, my son have a loan with you guys, had been pre-approved for $300,000. He said he owned an apartment.
I got spread, I'm representing.
Yep.
And San Bernardino is a contract.
Actually, Trey.
Oh, it's a,
So
oh,
your son is buying his business.
no, we tried to, because he couldn't buy it, but maybe I could get it close to
Right,
it.
with somebody you know.
Yeah, so
So
maybe.
is he buying a condo or is he buying a house?
What is considered a house of con, it's a apartment building, right?
It's an
This,
apartment.
no, this is a complex.
Okay.
Yeah,
Complex.
I'm just
So
trying
what
to,
is it
and we
in there?
tried to see it, he said that it's two of them, I'm trying to convince him.
Where is the unit at?
The units are in San Bernardino, 1265, Kendall Drive, and Shindell.
How much is it?
Mine, the one I have is 168, there's 4 units, and you're gonna say all this in the complex. Two of, one is 1 bedroom, 145, then there's 2 bedroom, 1 bath like mine, so that's going for 160.
160?
Yeah, my
How much
client's
is the
got,
Later.
No HOA.
it's Citadel,
Ooh, don't tell me it's $400 or $500, that's what
How much is the HSA?
Oh. And he could rent out
In
that.
San Bernardino?
Yeah.
Where's San Bernardino?
It's close to Ontario, you know where Ontario?
Rancho Cucamonga, Rialto.
Yeah.
And then.
Going to,
Before you get to Redlands.
How's the,
I don't know if you got it from
rent
the-
is it high or low?
it's high, because he's paying at least about $700, $800, or $900 for a room.
In the house?
Yeah. So if I can get him to own that apartment, you know, rent one and stay in one, and that $300,000.
So you have the listings there?
I haven't listened.
And
Yeah.
it's literally a flashlight.
So what you think, can he?
You don't have apartment complex like for
got you up.
I mean, what we do, how much down? Yeah, so he can buy one VA, the other one has to be non-owner occupied, 15% down. So, I think he needs to buy the 2 years,
One bag.
Yeah, that's a good, he don't never be at home anyway, I'm trying to get him to
That's the one.
own.
yeah.
Yeah, not buying them expensive cars. Yeah, I gotta get, so I'm gonna call, I'll call him and I'm gonna ask you to get with him. And that's all I need to know about that home. If he got any qualified, but we've been trying for the last 2 months. More $500 or $600.
Your account.
Like a house or something, so this'll be good.
So how do you know how much to pay?
As long as I know somebody that can own, you know. So so we know, she said, yes, if you buy first.
I usually have to tell them, we have to work that out with the owner. I need to get him where he can come down and see it.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Because
everything.
they have, yeah, you can always
At least 15 to 20.
bring it back up.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll do that. I'll work with you on that.
Especially like certain, like I feel like Sundays are slow now, especially with football. But I feel like Sundays are more like
That's what I've been getting told. Everybody else is saying that Sundays work better for them. But I find traffic on Sunday too. I've been having on Friday. I've done Friday all the time.
I've never done that. I'm doing Monday, Friday, yeah, and I know like once.
Yeah, okay, here I am at KW, what is it? Oh, that man, ooh, I gotta get back to Cal City. They say it's been, I gotta call. Ooh, that's not up and downstairs.
No, just one story, somebody lives above that one, and 2 on this side.
That's not bad.
I
I got your card. My daughter be here the 2nd.
See, this is the report.
Yeah, you know all
I
about
had
it.
John Claiborne do the home inspection.
Oh, yeah, my man, yeah, I let him do mine too.
Yeah, that's who did the inspection on it.
Okay, so everything, he's ready to move in?
He'd be ready to move in, they got a tenant, and then we have to get the tenant out. But basically, he needs to see it, see if it meets his approval.
Yeah, and I'll get with you, cause he's ready, he's ready, but I don't know his driving, but he can't get nothing else.
Yeah.
And if he could own that,
Own that,
then next 2 years, he could just, next, you know, he could get another one. I go come down there and stay a minute. He's still there. Yeah, cause we've been looking and looking.
It was kind of odd when I got
I paid the first one because I just started.
my wife and I,
So I paid the first one.
living on 28th Virginia Road in LA. I had a house, she had a house, we were renting my house.
The first one I think was like 7.
We talked our eldest son into getting, he had 1 baby, he was living in an apartment, then he had another one, lived in an apartment, then he moved out to the valley in the house. Got him to eventually buy a house. Then our daughter's husband died, and after he died, she bought a townhouse. Then the baby boy bought him a house.
And you can take a picture, and say, here I am in the market in a more city.
Our grandson has just bought his townhouse. So, we got 1 more grandson that's gotta, get his act
Yeah, I
together.
want him to just, you know, I told him, you can borrow my sports car, please, don't buy another car. Don't buy another car, buy you a apartment, buy you something. And he promised me that he would do it. I'm gonna send said this too. Here I am, I already have somebody for you. What house I got this? Okay, click that and I'm gonna send this to my son and say, I got you somebody. I'm at the thing now. Take this and hit that way. That way, but did you send it to me?
I gotta send it to you.
Queen. My number. Yeah, send it to Queen.
Messenger or mail?
It could be messenger or email.
Send it by messenger. Phone number?
760.
That's what one, 760, one, 760.
284.
Yeah, if you do have anything to send me, register in West Palmdale,
284.
go to Brandon, it's your listing, he'll go
22.
to the line.
19.
Okay, so I have some questions. So I'm doing open houses this weekend, and can I get flyers from you guys? How do I do that?
From
Oh,
the
Victor.
email.
Okay,
Wait.
that's the
You know Victor, right?
Yeah, he's the one that sits on the side. Okay, and I just tell him.
2210.
Send him all the
Is that
PDFs for the
760?
houses for
760
sale, for all that.
2884.
284. 2219. Yeah, 19.
My trainer got broke it, so I had them to come, but I have one, it's like about, I can print like 10 for your open house. You know, or you can do some black and white if you want.
284.
Okay, because if anything, I could just print them.
22.
Yeah, he'll email you beautiful, like.
Okay,
19.
and then do I just go, oh, that's him, right?
Yeah.
Should I go?
Victor!
I don't have his email.
He's too busy, always.
It's not working that way.
So have you ever, I'm gonna ask you a question,
Okay,
please answer
maybe
yes or
email.
no, like 5 minutes. So have you ever created an email saying, if you need a flyer, these are the
email,
things
okay.
I need from you on a
Q-
email form, on
to
or flyer form,
QE
have you ever done that?
card.
Can you please create that for me and give it to me with the best
Oh, your
email
number.
address that they can send you all of these for the flyer? And you're gonna put down there,
Go
who do you
back to
need
right
as a lender to be with you? We do have this, this, and
13
this.
at.
Okay, can you please?
Yes,
go
I'll
back?
just let it-
Yes, it's okay, please, let them
Because
finish.
they have a class.
Oh,
This
shoot.
time went out, that's why I wanna.
What I'm saying is, if
Yeah,
you
I'll
wanna
just put it
trash
in
this, and they can keep this for the next class, they can
Oh,
eat
they,
it.
okay, so.
Just, yeah, they can eat it,
Okay.
they can eat that thing, so.
QE
Let me
Instead of every
13
single
at
time somebody comes
gmail.com.
and
Yeah.
I sit and talk for like 60 minutes about like what I need from them,
Okay.
all what you need is like, get me this and I'll create your flyer.
Okay.
Can I have your email, please, so I can
Say.
email you?
Yeah, it is clients
Clients.
dot
Okay, I think it went this time.
mxpress
Let me see that I
at
can.
gmail.com.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
So I'm gonna have him do a flyer, so every single time somebody comes in,
Yeah, they
I
come
give them
in.
this, it's done. That's what we're talking
So
about.
you will,
Nice
if you will
meeting you.
want a
Nice meeting
flyer
you.
that's best,
It's still in
Thank
because we
you.
do the first time, I need a picture.
Okay.
Alright,
So
we'll have information,
whatever
right?
is a
Get it
JPEG,
right
Yeah.
on Gmail. Okay. It's like to my
Yeah,
computer.
your first name?
add,
Holly. So if you
information.
need your
So
email,
then,
come to me,
you have this
I can put you on the
JPEG,
portal, I
send
put your
it to me.
picture and everything, and every
Send it
single
back.
time
So
I
we'll
put
send
you on
it
the
to the
portal
body.
works.
Alright.
and
Which is
I'll
like
take
all
care
the
of the rest.
clients,
And then I
We
just send you all the
send
information about the house.
emails from you, let's say you
Are you
upload
going
the
to reflect
client
on
for
that?
me,
Are you
with
in
the
that
email,
right now? I can
you
show
send
you.
an email from, on your behalf,
Sure,
oh,
I can
no,
show you right now.
by the way.
Let me just put this over there.
First step of buying your house, oh, by the way, you know, it's like kind of an email, like campaign, runs by itself with your information.
Yeah, he
okay?
need to get some,
Just
he
by
need to get
if
something
I
on
put
the
like
books.
your
I've been,
PRC number,
wait,
your
168,
picture,
that ain't nothing but, what,
you know,
$500-600?
So I'm
Yeah,
trying
basically where we
to,
work
like,
it out.
every
So
single,
we might be able to lower the
filter
price a
from
little
you, I
bit.
send them
Yeah,
an
Lord,
email.
pray that he'll be on. He'll be on and he can go back and get a house. Get him a house, but he needs to start with something.
I don't know the answer.
He was recording us. Oh,